Hello and welcome to Starwell in Storytellers' Lair. This is part 2 of Vasilisa the Beautiful, a Russian tale. Where we left off, the birds had come in to help Vasilisa pick apart the seeds and stuff. They had only just finished when the white horseman galloped past the gate on his white horse. Day was dawning. Baba Yaga woke up and asked, "Have you done what I told you to do, Vasilisa?" "Yes, it is all done, Grandma." Baba Yaga was very angry, but there was nothing more to be said. "Humph," she snorted. "I am off to hunt, and you take that sack yonder. It's filled with peas and poppy seeds. Pick out the peas from the seeds and put in 2 separate heaps. And mind now, if you do not do it, I shall eat you up." Baba Yaga went out into the yard and whistled, and the mortar and pestle swept up to her. The red man galloped past and the sun rose. Baba Yaga got into the mortar and rode out, swinging her pestle like a whip and whisking the tracks away with a broom. Vasilisa took a crust of bread, fed it to her little doll, and said, "Do take pity on me, little doll, my dear, and help out." And the doll called out in ringing tones, "Come to me, mice of the house, the barn and the field, for there's work to be done." And the mice came running, swarms and swarms of them, more than the eye could see or tongue could tell, and before the hour was up, the work was all done. It was getting on toward the evening, and the black-browed maid set the table and began to wait for Baba Yaga's return. The black horseman galloped past the gate. Night fell, and the eyes of the skulls crowning the fence began to glow again. And now the trees groaned and crackled, the leaves rustled, and Baba Yaga, the cunning witch and sly, who gobbled people up in the wink of an eye, came riding home. "Have you done what I told you to do, Vasilisa?" she asked. "Yes, it is all done, Grandma." Baba Yaga was very angry, but what could she say? "Well then, go to bed. I am going to turn in myself in a minute." Vasilisa went behind the stove, and she heard Baba Yaga say, "Light the stove, black-browed maid, and make the fire hot, and when I wake up, I shall roast Vasilisa." And Baba Yaga lay down on a bench, placed her chin on a shelf, covered herself with her foot, and began to snore so loudly that the whole forest trembled and shook. Vasilisa burst into tears, and taking out her doll, put a crust of bread before it. "Come, little doll, have some bread, my dear, and I'll pour out all my troubles in your ear, for Baba Yaga wants to roast me and eat me up," she said. The doll told her what she must do to get out of trouble without more ado. Vasilisa rushed to the black-browed maid and bowed low to her. "Please, black-browed maid, help me," she cried. "When you are lighting the stove, pour water over the wood so it does not burn the way it should. Here's my silken handkerchief for you to reward for your trouble." The black-browed maid said in reply, "Very well, my dear, I shall help you. I shall take a long time heating the stove, and I shall tickle Baba Yaga's heels and scratch them too, so she may sleep very soundly the whole night through. And you run away, Vasilisa." "But won't the 3 horsemen catch me and bring me back?" "Oh no," replied the black-browed maid. "The white horseman is the bright day, the red horseman is the golden sun, and the black horseman is the black night, and they will not touch you." Vasilisa ran out into the passage, and Grumbler Rumbler, the cat, rushed at her and was about to scratch her, but she threw him a pie, and he did not touch her. Vasilisa ran down from the porch, and the dog darted out and was about to bite her, but she threw him a piece of bread, and the dog let her go. Vasilisa started running out of the yard, and the birch tree tried to lash at her and put out her eyes, but she tied it with a ribbon, and the birch tree let her pass. The gate was about to shut before her, but Vasilisa greased its hinges and swung it open. Vasilisa ran into the dark forest, and just then the black horseman galloped by, and it became pitch black all around. How was she to go back home without a light? What would she say? Why, her stepmother would do her to death. So she asked her little doll to help her, and did what the doll told her to do. She took one of the skulls from the fence, and mounting it on a stick, set off across the forest. Its eyes glowed, and by their light the dark night was a bright day. As for Baba Yaga, she woke up and stretched, and seeing Vasilisa was gone, rushed out into the passage. "Did you scratch Vasilisa?" as she ran past Grumbler Rumbler, she demanded. And the cat replied, "No, I let her pass, for she gave me a pie. I served you for 10 years, Baba Yaga, but you never gave me so much as a crust of bread." Baba Yaga rushed out into the yard. "Did you bite Vasilisa, my faithful dog?" she demanded. The dog said in reply, "No, I let her pass, for she gave me some bread. I served you for so many years, but you never gave me so much as a bone." Birch tree, Baba Yaga roared. "Did you put out Vasilisa's eyes for her?" The birch tree said in reply, "No, I let her pass, for she bound my branches with a ribbon. I have been growing here for 10 years, and you never even tied them with the string." Baba Yaga ran to the gate. "Gate, gate," she cried. "Did you shut before her that Vasilisa might not pass?" The gate said in reply, "No, I let her pass, for she greased my hinges. I served you for ever so long, but you never even put water on them." Baba Yaga flew into a terrible temper. She began to beat the dog and thrash the cat, to break down the gate and chop down the birch tree, and she was so tired by then that she forgot all about Vasilisa. Vasilisa ran home, and she saw that there was no light on in the house. Her stepsisters rushed out and began to chide and scold her. "What took you so long fetching the light?" they demanded. "We cannot seem to keep one on in the house at all. We have tried to strike and strike for light again, but to no avail. And then the one we got from the neighbors went out the moment it was brought in. Perhaps yours will keep burning." They brought the skull into the hut and fixed its eyes themselves on the stepmother and her 2 daughters. They brought the skull into the hut, and its eyes fixed themselves on the stepmother and her 2 daughters, and burnt them like fire. The stepmother and stepdaughters tried to hide, but run where they would, the eyes kept following them and never let them out of their sight. By morning they were burnt to a cinder, all 3, and only Vasilisa remained unharmed. She buried the skull outside of the hut, and a bush of red roses grew up on that spot. After that, not liking to stay in the hut any longer, Vasilisa went into the town and made her home in the house of an old woman. One day she said to the old woman, "I am bored sitting around, doing nothing. Grandma, buy me some flax, the best you can find." The old woman bought her some flax, and Vasilisa set to spinning yarn. She worked quickly and well, the spinning wheel humming and the golden thread coming out as even and as thin as hair. She began to weave cloth, and it turned out so fine that it could be passed through the eye of a needle, like a thread. She bleached the cloth, and it came out whiter than snow. "Here, Grandma," she said, "go and sell the cloth and take the money for yourself." The old woman looked at the cloth and gasped, "No, my child. Such cloth is only fit for a Tsarevich to wear. I had better take it to the palace." She took the cloth to the palace, and when the Tsarevich saw it, he was filled with wonder. "How much do you want for it?" he asked. "This cloth is too fine to be sold. I have brought it to you for a present." The Tsarevich thanked the old woman, showered her with gifts, and sent her home, but he could not find anyone to make him a shirt out of the cloth, for the workmanship had to be as fine as the fabric. So he sent for the old woman again. "You wove this fine cloth, so you must know how to make a shirt out of it." "It was not I that spun the yarn or wove the cloth, Tsarevich, but a maid named Vasilisa." "Well then, let her make me a shirt." The old woman went home, and she told Vasilisa all about it. Vasilisa made 2 shirts, embroidered them with silken threads, studded them with large round pearls, and giving them to the old woman to take to the palace, sat down at the window with a piece of embroidery. By and by, whom should see but one of the Tsar's servants come running towards her. "The Tsarevich bids you come to the palace," said the servant. Vasilisa went to the palace. Seeing her, the Tsarevich was smitten with her beauty. "I cannot bear to let you go away again. You shall be my wife," said he. He took both her milk-white hands in his hands and placed her in the seat beside his own. And so Vasilisa and the Tsarevich were married, and when Vasilisa's father returned soon afterwards, he made his home in the palace with them. Vasilisa took the old woman to live with her too, and as for her little doll, she always carried it about with her in her pocket, and thus are they living to this very day, waiting for us to come for a stay. And that's the end of the story. I do feel it very unfair that the father got to live in the palace after literally neglecting his kid, but it is what it is. Bye-bye now.